All right, I'm trying to do some work and No Name wants to go for a ride again. But listen, for those of you familiar with my channel, you know that I'm a learning by doing kind of guy. So once I've knocked out some of my good basic obedience training up at my facility, we head out here to the pre-adventure area so that I can give the dogs a real sense of autonomy, okay? Everybody, like with their young dogs, they micromanage them so much, the dogs never learn to be responsible for themselves. And that's where you have a lot of problems with adult dogs and people being very fearful that the dogs are going to run away and having to use, like, you know, all kinds of specialized equipment to keep the dogs close to them. You know, listen, guys, dogs are like children. If you put the right amount of work in early during the formative stages, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get dogs that don't need to be told what to do all the time. I try to explain this to people when they contact me. They always ask me about commands. People love the idea of giving dogs commands, okay? I'm really not a command kind of guy though, you know? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, you know, get things going so that, like, I can just trust that if I go out on an adventure, I can have a lot of fun myself, and my dog, for the most part, is going to make good decisions. And if the dog's making good decisions, I can give the dog more autonomy. The more autonomy that I give the dog, the better the lessons that the dog learns, you know, become ingrained. And so, you know, before you know it, you've got like a self-perpetuating cycle of good general obedience where nothing has to be said. You know, if I come out here and I'm working, like right now, I got to work on cleaning the fire pit, because these dogs are here for, you know, campfire safety training, and I can't not do campfire safety just because it snowed a little bit. So I've got to do work. You know, I've got to get this cleaned out, and be able to build me a little fire here. I can't do this and hold that dog's leash. I can't do this and, you know, like micromanage every decision this dog makes. And then if I do my formative training like that, then that's what the dog's going to expect its whole life. And so when we go out on an adventure and it's an adult and I get to having fun with my friends or my children, then the dog's going to be like, well, this isn't like our training sessions, and it's not going to know how to behave. Right? So what I'm doing here while I'm, you know, kind of cleaning out this fire pit a little bit is I'm simply watching the dog out of the corner of my eye, right? And I want the dog to get familiar with the type of activities that are associated with being out, you know, in a camping situation. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna clean me out a little spot here. Oh. Just big enough to get me a little fire started. Oh, then I'm gonna head over to the side by side and I'm gonna get out a little stove, right? Okay, because not only are we working on like off-leash obedience, working on safety around a campfire, we're also working on, you know, good obedience like around food. Because what do you do if you go out on a big outdoor adventure? You usually take your friends and you take something to drink and you take something to eat, right? Okay, so I'm gonna get a little stove out and we're gonna have a couple of things going on. We're gonna have a fire over here, and then we're gonna have some food cooking over there. And we'll just alternate and let these dogs play and let them learn by doing. Very nice. All right, so we finally got the fire going, and now I'm gonna make a little soup and a little bit of tea. And in the background, you'll probably see my assistant trying to keep this fire going. Because listen, guys, keeping a fire going in like super wet, snowy weather is just almost impossible, you know? So the next time you think about being judgmental to the pioneers, go outside and try to build you a fire and cook you some soup. You'll learn real quick. All right, now, what I'm gonna be using here is what's called a rocket stove. It's a pretty cool little device. Okay, so I put fuel in from this side, and the draft feeds air through the bottom of the stove and up through the chimney. It's a very efficient way to have a little campfire outside and do a little cooking. Okay, this is a pretty cool little military surplus canteen set that I picked up somewhere. So I think I'll do a little tea first and then make some soup. All right. So now while I'm doing all that stuff, you'll see that most of the dogs are being allowed to settle, to kind of do what they want to do. You know, I told you earlier about learning by doing. Okay, learning by doing is cool, and letting dogs have autonomy is cool also, right? That's how they learn to be mature and responsible. But at the same time, we all need to learn to be bored sometimes, right? And so just like with children, sometimes they just have to learn to, you know, stay out of the way while you're busy. And that's what this dog's gonna be working on while I'm brewing my tea and cooking my soup. Now, every so often, you might see me reach over here and tell Ozzy that I'm proud of him. Very nice for staying still and being such a good dog. So on my other channel, I'll show you guys things like this. This is a little kit that I carry in my pocket every day. It's got all the essentials for a comfortable outdoor adventure with dogs. Now the way this stove works is just every so often you have to feed another piece of material, of fuel, in through the backside. I don't know, can you see this, cameraman? Get up here and see if you can see what's going on right here. So it's got a little hood right there, and I drop the hood and the air goes down and then up through the chimney, and then you can't feel it through the screen, of course, but it's a ton of heat coming out of that little chimney there. So it works really awesome. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, guys, well, we had a little bit of battery trouble because it's super cold and everything's harder in the cold, right? But I got my tea made and I've got some soup cooking over here, and these dogs are all being pretty good, okay? Now, this is the main takeaway from today's video. Number one, I wanted you to see how an Australian Shepherd would do in this kind of cold, snowy weather, right? And you can see that this dog has run with these labs and has hung around, played with the sticks, and all in all is pretty much unaffected by the weather. Number two, I wanted to make the point to you that, learning by doing is the best kind of learning. So when we're thinking about training a dog, we need to think about basic obedience from the perspective of removing the impediments that stand in the way of going out and having real life adventures. And you don't have to have a real life adventure exactly like me, you know. To your dog, just going to the local park is a big adventure, okay? But the way they're gonna learn to be good is to go out and have a chance to make decisions on their own. You know, don't be micromanaging your dogs all the time. For the most part of this whole little training exercise that we've done today, I've just kind of been watching this dog out of the corner of my eye. That included the time when we were on the four-wheeler, the time when I was cleaning out the fire pit, the time when I was setting up my stove. I never wasn't paying attention, but I was trying to give the dog the illusion that I wasn't paying attention. I wanted the dog to think that he was making all the decisions on his own, right? Now, I'm there to provide feedback if he needs it, okay? But a really well-trained dog does not need to be told what to do. A really well-trained dog understands the context of different situations. So as you change environments, they have a pre-taught catalog of behaviors that fit that environment. Now, in my case, I mainly work for people that like to get out and get moving and do interesting things. So this is the kind of stuff that we do, okay? But whatever it is that you do in your life, okay, these principles are the same. If you like to go camping a lot or hiking a lot or ATVing a lot, you know, well then, you know, do what I'm doing right now. If you like to just go downtown and you like to go, drink beer and eat pizzas and burgers on patios, that's fine. You know, whatever floats your boat, okay? Just get out and start doing it while they're young, because in dog training, the bill is always going to get paid, right? You can either pay it up front with a discount, right? And what I'm saying is you put that labor in all the way through that first year, and then you've got it paid for the next 10 or 12 years. You know, dog just minds out of habit. Or you can not put the work in early, and you can pay a little bit over time. And just like anything else in life, when you pay a little bit over time, you end up paying a lot more. Okay, all right. Now my soup is going pretty good. Now, I'm gonna come back over here and show them this last thing we'll show you. If you guys want, I'll make you a video about this little stove. We use it all the time. It's a lot of fun. People come here, and when we're doing hiking and camping training, I always bring them out here and let them use a variety of stoves and camping equipment. You know, just kind of get a look and see about what's out there in the world. Okay, but it's really fun. All right, well, listen, I'm gonna eat my soup, and then I'm gonna let this dog up, and we're gonna go ride the four-wheeler around a little bit more, and gonna call it a day. I hope you guys liked this video, and post in the comment section below if you have any questions related to the stuff we did today, and I look forward to making a new video for you next week. Very nice dogs. You guys need a snack too, don't you? Very good dogs. Very good.